Okay, it's 5 o'clock. I would like to call this May 9th, 2023 Planning Commission meeting to order. I would ask you to have a cell phone or any other devices. Please put that on silent so not to disrupt the meeting. Anyone wishing to address the board, please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. The first thing on the agenda is approval of minutes of April 11th.
Move for approval. Second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns on the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote for approval of minutes. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. Director Sheehan.
Now, before we get into the agenda tonight, Mr. President, I want to wish Councilman Grieco a happy birthday.
Thanks, sir.
29, right?
29 again, yes, sir.
First case tonight is case P05P23, petition of Dad Camp Inc., requesting approval of primary and final plat for Dad Camp Inc. This is for property 1015 East Lincoln Road.
Move for approval. Second.
If someone here to represent this case, please come forward.
Yes, members, Jason Henderson, 108 Freedom Court, Kokomo, Indiana, the surveyor that's listed here on the plat. So what you have in front of you is a single lot subdivision. It's been through the appropriate drainage and every other review that was necessary to make it to this point, to be in front of this board. It is a, it's met all the ordinance. We did receive a variance for a front yard setback in the building line, which was successful. So that's reflected on the plaque. Mr. Pike had a couple of comments. We've addressed those on there. So we have that in front of you guys for consideration. I'm here to answer any questions, but we are seeking, first of all, primary plat approval.
Any questions from the board? Everything good from the plat?
Yes, everything's been addressed.
Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P05P23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved. Director Sheehan.
Next case, Mr. President, is case P06A23, petition of Tripp Engineering and Consulting, requesting development plan approval for Dad Camp. And again, this is 1015 East Lincoln Road.
Move for approval. Second.
Someone here to represent this case, please step forward.
Tori Tripp Engineering Consulting, 401 South 2nd Street, Converse, representing Dad Camp. Just to give you a brief overview of the project, this goes on the one lot that you guys just approved the plat for. It's a little over 5,700 square foot building. It'll be part warehouse, part meeting room. The warehouse will be used for their storage for the Dad Camp supplies. The meeting room will be used just a few times a year for inventory or when they're there to gather supplies together for one of their camps. There's going to be a small parking lot with a few spots there for when they're using the meeting room. Access to the site will be off the adjacent lot through their existing entrance off of Lincoln. So we have an ingress egress easement that went with the plat. And then I can answer any questions you have.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P06A23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next case, Mr. President, is case P06Z23, petition of Nancy Ladd, requesting the Kokomo City Plan Commission petition to recommend to the Kokomo Common Council for change in zone classification from C2 medium to large scale general commercial to R5 high density urban residential. This is for property at 603 North Union Street.
Move for approval. Second.
Is someone here to represent this case?
I'm Jessie Matthews for 603 North Union Street. I work with Rice Realty here in Kokomo, and I'm representing my client Nancy Ladd. Nancy currently owns the home, and it is currently Zone C2. The home has 2 bedrooms upstairs, has been used as a residential home for quite some time. If you look up the property on Beacon, it is classified as a residential one-family dwelling on a platted lot. My client also has a regular residential home mortgage on the property. We're petitioning for a change in the zoning from C2 to C5 to allow the home to be used as a residential property and to allow Nancy to sell her home to a buyer who also would prefer to use it as a residence. The home has been on the market since November, and everyone who has looked at the home has had interest in it as a residential property. We already have an accepted offer on the property, and the interested party would like to use the property as their primary residence. Until the zoning is changed, they are unable to do so.
Any questions from the board before we have staff report? Director Sheila.
Staff report for case P06Z23. Nancy Ladd is requesting to change the zone classification for the property addressed listed above. This property will be used as residential. According to the current city of Cookville zoning ordinance, this is a permitted use within the R5 zoning district. The joint property uses and zoning are to the north, IS institutional, to the south, downtown commercial, is within the downtown overlay central business district, to the east, C2, medium to large scale general commercial, and to the west, R5 urban residential. According to the city of Cookville comprehensive plan future land use map, 603 North Union Street is located in an area proposed for downtown commercial. This location is shown as a burgundy shaded area in the screenshot below. Downtown commercial uses complement a high-density pedestrian-oriented business district, primarily including entertainment, retail, and service businesses. Under land use goals to encourage orderly and responsible development, to promote health, safety, and quality of life of residents in the city of Kokomo while maintaining Kokomo as a leading community for affordable housing. Relevant land use objectives are to encourage adequate land for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. Designate specific districts in the community suitable for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and residential uses. The goal of the city of Cookville comprehensive plan transportation map is to enhance connection throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to a transportation map, this area of North Union Street is defined as a minor arterial, which is a street that collects and distributes traffic to and from collector and primary arterial streets. The traffic count for this area of North Union Street is 1,303 cars per day. The requested zoning change is compatible with all surrounding zonings. Therefore, the staff desires that the board forward a favorable recommendation to the Cookville Common Council.
Any questions from the board now that we've had staff report? Any questions from the audience? Then I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P06Z23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. It now goes to the Common Council and will be presented there by Councilman Griefu.
Thank you. Next case tonight, Mr. President, is case P07A23, petition of Jonathan L. Yates for Diamond Communications LLC, requesting development plan approval for Kokomo telecommunications facility. This is 1800 East Havens Court.
Move for approval. Need a second. Second.
Thank you. So someone here to represent this case?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, Jonathan Yates. I'm here along with my engineer, Mark Noble. As I discussed before, the previous board, just want to very much thank Mr. Sheeline and his staff, Jessica and Victoria, for helping us get to this point. They've been incredible to work with. The proposed facility is for AT&T. It's a 180-foot, what we call a monopole style facility, to be located on the property of McGavick Outdoor Power Equipment at 1800 East Havens Court. Exactly where AT&T needed to be to provide appropriate coverage for both wireless voice and broadband in the area. In addition, AT&T will be deploying FirstNet, the first responder network, from this facility. In addition, it's designed for at least 2 other broadband carriers. The property laid out beautifully. Mr. McGavick bought the property in 1996. He has his showroom building right there on North Reed, and the property we're on is where his cold warehouse is, and we're right in front of the cold warehouse. So we were able to achieve all the necessary setbacks and the perfect location for us. I'm here for any questions about the facility, any engineering questions, Mr. Norval.
Any questions from the board?
Are we assuming any building or structures, or are you just building a tower?
Tower that the various carriers will have their equipment on the base of it. Yes, ma'am. We have a 70 by 78 compound that will fence with a 6-foot fence topped with 3 strands of barbed wire and anti-climb device for a total of 7 feet.
Just so the board also knows, they did receive a special exception from the Board of Zoning Appeals
plat taken care of?
Yes, everything's been agreed.
Any questions from the audience on this case? Any questions from the board before I call for a vote? All in favor of case P 07A23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved. Congratulations.
The next case tonight, Mr. President, is case P08A23, petition of Brad Carney Construction LLC, requesting development plan approval for Wildcat Creek Top Tracer Project. This is at 3200 Timber Valley Drive.
Move for approval.
Second.
I'm Wyatt Johnson, 555 Market Road, and here tonight is the owner of the project, Neil Johnson. We're not related, thankfully. The idea is to have a new building, which will be a facility that operates the same way as Top Golf does, but it won't be a two-story build or a three-story, whatever Top Golf is, and it won't have any netting. It'll be just a one-story building with a restaurant and outside seating and a driving range that's adjacent to, or adjoining actually, the existing driving range. And we've been through the technical review committee. Mr. Pike had a couple comments which have been addressed. And if the board has any questions, or if the audience does, I'd be glad to try to answer those.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Please step forward.
For the statement.
Need your name,
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Brad Christopher. I live at 3212 Timber Valley Drive, which is just 3 houses south of the parking lot, if you will. I built there in 1996. J.R. Reinhardt was the one that sold me on how nice the golf course is going to be for me for the rest of our lives and so forth, out our back door and so forth. So, I'm here to state why I'm vehemently opposed to this project going forward. I believe there are 3 big reasons. First of all, I apologize because I just found out about this Friday. I didn't get a certified letter. I just called what phone number was on the sign, and then I asked Mark, Mark Coons this morning, who sent me the plan. Unfortunately, the HOA did not have my correct email address, so I wasn't able to, I didn't know about the meeting on Sunday either, so this is the first time I'm here to speak on it. So, 3 reasons, big reasons. I believe it's going to depreciate the value of my home. I didn't buy to have a circus in my backyard. 2, pollution, noise pollution, and light pollution. The lights that will be out there, I won't be able to see the stars at night on my back porch. And then lastly, we do not need another active bar in our neighborhood. We have many, many kids that walk the streets, that are on scooters at night, that ride the golf courses, golf carts at night. Have another place of drinking establishment in our neighborhood would not only be unwise, potentially deadly. Any questions?
Well, I'm sorry. I'll let Mr. Johnson, well, either one of Mr. Johnsons address the first 2. The third one, I will say that this board only deals with zoning and development plan. We don't make any decisions based on whether there's going to be a bar there or not. If you're opposed to that, my suggestion would be you would have to go before the Alcohol and Beverage Commission when they apply for the liquor license. This board has nothing to do with that. This board would not base their decision on that. They base their decision on zoning and development plans and everything, as far as that goes.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
Consider though, with approving that zone, that's the potential that might happen.
Well, the zone's already approved. The zone has been zoned that forever. All this is just development plan for the new building.
Okay.
That's all this is.
Sorry.
So,
Again, my confusion, I just found out about this morning.
I understand. I didn't know if someone wanted to address the lights and,
Yeah, we had, J&J Electric's gonna do the electrical work on the site, and they had contacted Kirby Risk to design the lighting plan. And I've got a copy of which I think you all have as well, of the foot candles, which meet the ordinance. They don't spread out very far. You would obviously, you'd still be able to see the lights from surrounding properties, but the foot candles that spread out from the light will be dim enough that it won't light, you won't be able to look at the ground and see things. And that is what the ordinance requires, so it meets the ordinance. I'm not sure about any noise ordinance that you have. I don't think that there'd be any problem with them meeting the noise ordinance. So I think that was other than the alcohol, that was the couple things that he addressed.
Any questions from the board at this time? Anyone else from the audience?
Thank you. My name is David Granger. My address is 1644 Winterbrook Drive in Kokomo. I am currently the president of the Columbian Club, which is the organization that owns the building that for the Knights of Columbus, which sits on the golf course. And a reason I'm here, just to clarify, Mr. Johnson, he had a meeting the other day with the homeowners, and he provided a lot of valuable information. But since then, I had some people ask me from our standpoint, from the member standpoint, and even some people in the homeowners, just to make sure that there's going to be adequate parking for everyone. And as long as there's adequate parking for our members and our guests and theirs, then as far as I'm concerned, I'm all in favor, and I don't have any issues. But I just, on behalf of our members, I felt like I needed to bring that up because I was asked to. Thank you.
our staff did look at parking, and we don't see any issues with parking whatsoever.
And may I ask a question, Mr. Granger? Does the Columbian Club own the parking lot they currently utilize?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's owned by
The golf course, Mr. Johnson, the golf course owns it. We use the parking lot for our members and our customers when we have rentals, but Mr. He owns it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So they're gonna use the existing parking lot? How many spaces do they need?
I checked it out. I think it's on the title page of the plans, but if I recall, it's 2 parking spaces per hole. So there's 18 holes, so you need 36 parking spaces, which doesn't seem like enough, but there's far more than 30. There's like 100 and some, when you count parking spaces along the road north of the clubhouse, and then the Columbian Club, the parking spaces next to the Columbian Club. And one thing I didn't say, I know you guys all know it, but the audience may not, that for a development plan, we have to meet the standards that are written, and if we meet the standards, then we should get approved. And we do meet the standards.
Another member of the audience have anything to say? Please come forward.
My name's Brian Eichelbarger. My address is 3180 Timber Valley Drive, Kokomo 46902. I live directly north of the proposed site. I live at the corner of Timber Valley Drive and Foxfire Drive. The exit to their facility is basically right on my property line. Mr. Sheline said that you've already looked at the parking and determined that there's plenty of parking for the golf course that's already there, for the Knights of Columbus, and for a 300-person capacity center that they're wanting to build. How many parking spots are there supposed to be per 100 people?
For per the zoning ordinance, as Mr. Johnson just said, for a golf course, you only have to have 2 parking spaces for each hole. So that's 36
But it's not
parking
going to
spaces.
be
I
just a
understand,
golf
understand.
course now, right?
But the golf course has been there for how many years? There are over 100 spaces, parking spaces out at that golf course. So the way the ordinance is written, there are ample parking spaces for what is being planned.
So if there's homeowners that have issues with this being built and with the alcohol consumption, we talked to Mr. Johnson and tried to get hours of operation, and he's unsure. He says the golf course is now open till 10, 11, or 12 at night, but if you go online, it shows it closes at 8. Can't get a definite answer on what his intentions are for hours. I think it takes it out of the realm of just a golf course parking when you add a 300 person capacity building, and you already have a 200 person capacity building with the Knights of Columbus. I'm not even saying I'm opposed to it, but I don't think we have enough information to move forward at this point.
I believe.
And we've
I
tried to
believe-
get answers from Mr. Johnson and can't get them.
I can't speak for Mr. Johnson, but I can speak for the development plan. From our perspective, everything has been satisfied as far as development plan. If there's a problem with the hours, you'll need to talk to Mr. Johnson. If anyone does not want, another bar there, then you would have to go before the, Alcohol and Beverage Commission to talk about that.
All right,
Okay,
thanks.
thank you.
I'm on the mailing list for Wildcat Creek Golf Course, and I get way too many emails. But some of the emails I get are about night golf. So, I think they've got a night golf event coming up, don't you? So they are open past 8, and I've been around golf courses since I was 12, and that's been a few years. They're always open till dark and even a little bit past dark because people are out with carts. Not in January and February, but in June, July, and August. So.
Any other questions for the audience?
My name is William Graves. I live at 2294 South, 200 East, Kokomo, Indiana. I am on the board of directors of the Columbian Club of Kokomo. A couple questions. The lighting plan. I just got back in town today. Are they expanding the lighting in the existing parking lot?
No, they just have sconces on the outside of the building for just right around the building for their outdoor seating. And they have floodlights on the roof that'll be 10 feet above the ground, not 20 feet or 30 feet like on a parking lot. And they will shine towards the church at the northwest corner of 26 and Park Road.
Well, I can assure you, I've been out there many, many times. The parking lot, when the Columbian Club of Kokomo bought that building, we share the parking lot, but we also share the expenses. Golf course is 80%. As far as the maintenance of it, we pay 20%. The other thing with the parking lot, it's dark. If you're gonna use that parking lot and you're gonna be open after dark, far into that parking lot is extremely dark. So I think you need to look at what's gonna happen in the existing parking lot, because it's being used for this, correct? I mean, there's no parking up by your building? You're gonna use,
No, I don't know where people will park. There is parking along Foxfire Drive, and they might park there, they might park in the parking lot. The parking lot by the Columbian Club would be probably the closest, and there'll be a cart path that goes from that lot.
are they moving the existing cart path? Currently, that cart path that comes right by the Knights of Columbus is on our property. Part of the buy agreement when we bought that property, if we wanted it relocated, we had to pay for that, but they would relocate it. Are they relocating that in this?
No,
Okay.
this is the existing.
Right.
This is
Our property. You're cutting the drive in.
Yeah.
So people, there is parking. That parking?
Good.
Car parking. Okay, I just think parking is going to be an issue. If the Knights of Columbus has a wedding on a Saturday night, people are coming to this facility, people do park on the street. It happens now. So parking's a big issue, guys.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? Please come forward.
Hello, my name's Jim Schmidt. I just dropped my phone. I live at 310 South 400 East Kokomo. I am on the board of the Columbian Club of Kokomo LLC, also a member of the Knights of Columbus. We moved out there about 10, possibly 11 years ago on the idea that the view was nice. We had a golf course we could look at. So where we maintain most of our view, that is going to be right in front of our view. So that's going to be cutting down, that's the reason we moved out there, was because of the view. And now, for some reason, they're wanting to put that right in front of us. I can't understand why. Well, they're new owners now, so that might be why. I don't know. But we was out there when Art Brubaker was head of the place. And that's why we went out there, because the view. And now that view is just going to be a building. So that's my question on,
But the view is the golf course, correct?
yes,
Which they own.
yes.
Okay. I understand your concern, but, you know, if they own the golf course,
Yes.
then, you know,
Okay.
yep.
My name is Dave Heilman. I live at 1813 Timber Court in Timber Valley and have a slight view of the golf course. Live just off of number 10 hole. And I just want to make sure, well, first of all, let me say they've done an excellent job in maintaining the golf course. It's come a level up, and it's the third golf courses that we've lived on. But want to make sure what we're doing is not something we'll regret, okay? Putting the lights in, the building in, you need to think about that, not just boop, and say it's a good deal. They're gonna be open till 12 midnight. You may like lights in your front at 12 midnight, but not me. And I won't see them. I'm not even a part of it. They've done, like I say, they've done a great job. They've managed it well, but let's not screw it up now. Think through this thing before you pull the trigger. Okay?
Yes, sir, thank you. There is a lighting ordinance for the city of Kokomo. I think Mr. Johnson alluded to that, and there's a half candle power that can encroach on someone else's property. If that becomes an issue, for anyone that lives out there, you can call me and we'll go out and we'll investigate it. And if it is encroaching on somebody's property, it shouldn't be, we'll make them take care of it. Okay?
Sounds like a done deal.
Sir, this has been talked about for weeks. I mean, everybody in the city has looked at this. This isn't just these people up here. You know, we've had engineers look at it, the fire department's looked at it. So it's nothing that we just decide to do. It's been, this board makes the final decision, not my office. This board makes the final decision. But it's not something that is just willy-nilly done, just so you'll know.
I have one question. I thought the hours of operation was a fair question. Why can't we get an answer for it? Somebody. Yes, no, you jump here.
And just, if you could, just state your name and address for the record for us.
Okay. My address? Okay. Neil Johnson, 7368 Harbor Isle, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46240. Hours of operation. The original plan was during the week,
possibly 10 o'clock, weekends possibly 11. We're looking into that, but that's the temporary hours that are in the original plan of ours.
What are the hours of operation of the golf course currently?
Well, currently, the hours now, as far as depending on, sometimes it's 10, just depending on the customer. We kind of wait to the last customer is ready to leave. We don't have particularly set hours. We do for the pro shop. As far as if you want to come in and play golf, that is closed at 8 o'clock. Does that make sense? Okay.
So for people that don't play golf, if you come in to play, you can't go in after 8 o'clock, you can't go in and pay your greens fee and get a cart and go play. But if you're already on the course, you can probably play till dark.
Fair.
So the new facility, this is something that you're looking to be an evening time type thing and winter time, just another revenue stream for the golf course.
Yes, 100%. Yep. It will be open during the day also, but yes, winter and particularly evening, but yes.
Okay, one question, I've been to Top Golf twice, had a ball, but I saw golf balls going every which direction. How's that not gonna happen at this place?
Well, we do have some, we're not putting netting up as far as along the range.
Okay.
We do have it back a little bit, but where we can, I should say, how far? The plan is, temporary plan for us, I don't know if it's not necessarily a plan in the plans, but just to go out probably 15 feet, a little bit, as far as a wall or a little netting, but it won't distract anything or wouldn't be anything, but just enough to get the shanks.
Okay, thank you.
Is that over the current range? Are you utilizing the current range or building a new range?
Building a new net?
No, are you utilizing?
Yeah, yes, the range, yep. All it is a building next to the grass where you hit off of, so it's just extending the range.
And how many bays are gonna be?
12.
And that won't interfere with people golfing?
No, nope.
So to address your question, Mr. Besser, the building kind of faces southeast towards the church at Park Road and 26. And it's right adjacent to, as you look that direction, it's to the right of the existing driving range. Then as it goes towards that church building, it joins up with the existing driving range. So as you hit farther down, for those who hit farther down, it becomes part of the existing range. And then there's a line of trees to the right. So the people, and then there's a number 10s to the right. So you've got that whole fairway that people that are gonna scatter their ball to the right could scatter it, but it won't go off the golf course property.
So I have a question, circling back to the whole lighting issue. I believe what you mentioned, it was the elevation of the lights were only gonna be about 10 foot above the structure? Is that what you said?
10 feet above ground.
10
They'll be
feet
on the
above
roof.
ground on the roof. So what is the elevation of the structure approximately that you're proposing?
Brad's got you guys have the elevations in the plans.
There weren't elevations in the plans.
There weren't there?
No. Or at least not what we've been provided.
Yeah, we've just been provided kind of an overlay.
It's basically like a house structure. It may be 10 feet to the eaves from the ground.
12 feet to the eaves, 24 feet to the peak, just under 24 feet to the peak.
You gotta come to the mic.
I'll repeat that for him. He said it's 12 feet to the eaves. In a house, it might be 9 or 10, or some houses 12, and then to the peak of the roof, it'll be another 12 feet. So the peak will be 24 feet above the ground, which a lot of houses out there are taller than that.
Correct.
But this shouldn't affect the operation of the existing golf course. I mean, obviously, you're not trying to do anything that would take away from that experience.
No. I'll say something, I know this is just planning, but I'll say something in regards to the experience in the building. This is just basically an additional building, okay? It would be, if it wasn't a similar to Topgolf, it's just a range. It's just a building that you see when you go to another driving range. The only difference is it's enclosed, and there is food and beverage provided and allowed and have. Other than that, besides the enclosure, and there's not going to be lights up on the range like there would be at other facilities where you see it, a enclosed area. So, it's just an extension of our driving range in theory. One of the main things for the building, though, is the golf course needs other revenue, and I realize there's homes on there. However, it can go away real quick. We might have lost it a couple years ago before I bought it. There were some developers that talked to us. There were some other people. If we don't have another source of revenue, there will not be a potential golf course. So this adds a lot of value in that way. The building adds a lot of value in that way to not only the home community, the community around there to keep the golf course, but it's a big privilege to offer this to Kokomo. And let me say this, there is no other building in the state of Indiana. There is nothing that is like this using Top Tracer technology. So this will be another first for Kokomo. So we really think it'd be a good thing, and I appreciate your time.
I have a quick question.
Yes,
As far as occupancy, I know they say that there's 300 people can fit in there. However, how many people are you really accommodating?
Yeah, I would say, 12 bays at 6 people. It's at 72. So probably 72 to 100, so.
And that including your outdoor seating as well?
Yeah, that should,
The
yeah.
maximum capacity?
Yeah,
to seat was full?
well, yeah, that's,
People?
yeah.
Okay.
That, it wouldn't be, I'd say maybe, fit 300, I don't know what this room is, but yeah, I'd say probably maybe 100 people. I don't see how there's enough room for more than that.
How many people do you have, like, let's say you have a tournament that happens on, say, Saturdays at your busiest hours currently?
Right. How many people?
Yeah.
Do we
how
have?
many individuals?
Well, there's a 4-hour time turn. They might stay a little bit, say 10% turn. So I would say, let me think, 24, that's 4 times, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to think, 24 tee times an hour. Yeah, there you go. Probably if we had a maximum capacity for 4 hours, it'd be 144 people, and that would be a tournament. But we have maybe 7 of those a year, so that would be maximum. So that'd be 4 hours. So I'd say, there's your answer. Is
this golf for all ages?
all ages? Yep. Just it's if you take a Topgolf, it's the concept. It's not this technology is owned by Topgolf, so.
You said something several times about another revenue and about being open till midnight. With the extra people coming in, is the only way to get in and out to this new facility, driving through the neighborhood?
The same way you would for the golf course. Yep. It's the same in and exit for the golf course.
Any other comments from the audience?
Well, he's coming up here. I was on the golf committee at Tipton, and Tipton owns their golf course. So since they're a municipality, they don't pay any taxes. They're still losing money every year. So, Neil's the third owner. I think somebody mentioned that, and I've heard, and I've seen it, so I'm sure this is true. The first and second owners don't make any money on a golf course. So he needs the revenue, I think.
Hey guys, my name's Josh Maggard, 1586 Foxfire Lane. Like a couple of these guys, I live basically right outside the entrance and exit of where Top Tracer will be. So a few of the pros that I see would be that we're gonna have an increased revenue stream for the golf course, which is gonna ensure financial solvency. We're gonna have enhanced amenities, so we're gonna have the food, the beverage. I'm looking forward to being able to take the kids, family, things of that nature over there. And that's not just for Wildcat, that's for Kokomo as a whole. You don't have to be a member to go to this place. I'm looking forward to improved home values due to the enhanced amenities. And I'm really looking forward, because I'm passionate about golf, growing the game of golf. So like Neil said, it's not just 21 and above, we're talking about all ages. So I'm gonna have my daughter over there at 5 years old, hitting golf balls.
Anyone else in the audience? Any other questions for the board before I call for a vote? All in favor of case P08823, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved.
Congratulations.
TJ, did you want to do the next two, or do you want me to handle those, or?
If you guys call the case, I'm happy to walk
Okay,
us through.
all right.
Yep.
We'll give everybody a chance to
Okay.
slide out.
There we go.
And then there was you.
All right, next case tonight, Mr. President, is case P05Z23, petition and issue for the Kokomo City Plan Commission, and request and recommends the Kokomo Common Council to attend the next zoning, to amend the text of the Kokomo zoning ordinance, number 6279, as amended.
Move for approval. Second.
You're up, Mr.
All right, this was drafted for the Plan Commission on behalf of the administration. We are looking into, if you recall, we looked at, what did we look at? We looked at
Gas stations
storage
and
facilities and gas
Yes,
stations,
sir.
yes. And eventually, we passed a moratorium that gave us time to create additional development standards for our city. This is similar, however, we're looking at small box discount stores, which are not currently defined within the current zoning ordinance. So the first item that we'll hear today is the definition of small box discount stores, which are retail stores with less than 16,000 square feet that primarily offer for sale a combination of variety, convenience shopping goods, and consumer goods, and offer those at a discount below retail market value. But then we're excluding drugstores, convenience stores that are attached to gas stations, anything existing flea markets or operated shopping centers with collected vendors and booths. So first we want to define that, and then we're going to look at a moratorium next. So we'd ask that you pass this. Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions from the board before we take a vote? Any questions from the audience? And then I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P05Z23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries and now goes to common council and will be presented there by Councilman Rubio. Director Sheehan.
Next case is ordinance 7080, entitled an ordinance approving a moratorium on the construction and development of small box discount stores.
Thank you. This is ordinance 7080, as I alluded to just a minute ago, assuming that small box discount stores is adopted by council and that definition is added. We would like to add a temporary moratorium to be effective until November 1st of '23. Or I suppose it should be the earlier of us adopting development standards for those stores, or November 1st, whichever it becomes earlier. Our next step here is to explore basically what some other municipalities have done with these small box discount stores and what we believe would be an effective for development.
Can I have a motion, please?
Move for approval. Second.
Any questions from the board before we take a vote? Any questions from the audience? All in favor of ordinance 7080 entitlement going to memorandum going to the city council, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. It now goes to the city council and is presented there by Councilman Greenfield. Where we at? Approval of claims.
I move we approve claims in the amount of $24,012.17.
Move for approval. Second?
We have a motion and a second for approval of claims. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Claims are approved. Need a motion to adjourn, folks.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Do we have a